Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Hang on, Frank. Hey, buddy, let me unmute you. Hey, unmute Frank for me. Yeah, there you go. I'm sad it wasn't such a great opening, but I'm
What's
sorry.
up, Tommy? How are you today, buddy?
I'm doing good, brother. Hey, welcome to Tea Time for Betters, man. I got Frank G with me. We're going to be getting into a little bit of golf in just a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about what happened last week, too. It was a great tournament. But the end of the tournament was crazy with the protesters. We're gonna get a little in about that, but we got a nice little show planned for you tonight. We may cut it short a little bit, not sure yet. We may even go a little bit over, but it doesn't matter because here we are, and we're gonna have fun because we are doing it live, baby. Breacher Brothers, Bleacher Brothers. So anyway, Frank, how you doing, brother?
Good, pal. How are you today? How is it in old steamy Florida?
Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, I'm so glad I bought a handful of shirts with me today. It was brutal. It was I was dripping wet, and the plumbing supply that I go to, it's really cool because these guys have a fridge with ice, bottled waters in them, and they only charge 25 cents each. You go to 7-Eleven, you buy the cheapest water they have, you're paying $1.69. So every time I go in there, I just load up. You know.
Taking care of the contractors.
Oh, dude, yeah, they do. They're due. I'll give them a plug. Use Plumbing Supply on Gateway Boulevard here in Florida. Great guys down there. Jake, Matt, Mike, the crew in the back. They take care of us pretty well, which is good. I'm trying to get Mike to get out on the golf course, but he hasn't played in a while. So one of these days I'll get him out there. But so Frank, before we even get into golf? I know this is a golf show, but I just want to talk to you for like just a couple minutes about the hockey game. You didn't put any money on that game, did you?
No, I did, man, and I had the Panthers -110, and
Oh, really?
I had the under 5.5 -150, and I was sweating it out for sure when it was 1-1 in the first period. I thought my under was toast, and then the Panther goalie he played awesome all game. So.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was actually, other than game four, that was a game that I watched all the way through. I thought it was a great game. In the end, it was good.
I
You
was
know,
betting the Panthers like each and every game. I mean, the over cashed like the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth game.
right?
But and you figure like Edmonton like had figured them out and like had all the momentum and like in the early betting, during the betting and during the day, like Edmonton went off as like a 115 favorite. So
Right.
they it ended up like -110 each way, but pretty much there was a lean towards Edmonton anyway with
Were
all the
you
momentum.
checking out the live betting at all during the show? I mean, during the game?
No, I wasn't. I was just watching and sweating it out, man.
Yeah, I was going to check out the live betting and throw something in there, and I was like, you know what? I might jinx the Panthers, man. Just leave it alone. You
Yeah, it
know,
ended up being like USA versus Canada. It was like
it was a good game. It was a
it was
good
like
game.
us versus Trudeau. No, we're not supposed to get political, so I'll leave it at that.
Right. No, I get it. Uh oh. We might have to take a break. Maybe not. Hey, let's go back to let's talk a little bit about. Yeah, let me pull it up on my. I had it up already, and then it just disappeared. Travelers. I want to talk a little bit about the Travelers. Why is that not coming up here? Huh. Oh well, I can't type on my keyboard. So the Travelers tournament. It was Tom Kim was ahead pretty much the whole round. Yeah, I mean all 4 days.
He's the
Up
favorite this week.
he favored?
Yeah, plus 1200.
Oh, beautiful. But he started out, he was just on fire, you know. And he was a handful of strokes ahead first day, handful of strokes ahead second day, third day. And then all of a sudden, Scotty Scheffler comes out of nowhere. Friday, I think Kim only finished 3 under for the day. So he kind of struggled a little bit on the last day, but it could have been nerves. I don't know, but the kid's young. He's 22 years old. But one of the things that I noticed, and I apologize, I'm not looking at the screen here. I'm trying to pop something else up here on my monitor. But one of the things that I really enjoyed was Tom Kim. Evidently, Tom Kim, Scheffler's like a mentor for him
Oh yeah.
on the tour, and he's friends with a lot of guys on the tour. So when he got matched up with Scheffler, watching these guys walk off the tee after they hit their tee shots, watching them walk off the tee and walking down to the fairway, these guys were talking the whole way. You know, they were very very comfortable with each other, which I thought was cool. I enjoyed that, and I wish I wish we would see more of that in golf. I don't understand why I can't pull up the. Well, it doesn't matter. We already know who won that. But I just it felt really good watching something like that. And this weekend, tell us a little bit about this weekend, Frank.
What
Let's
do we
bring
got?
it.
The Rocket Mortgage Classic. It's at the Detroit Golf Club. We got a par 72. The yardage is 7,370, and they're saying it's going to play a little longer because it's already a little soft. You're not going to get any roll. And there's rain in the forecast for Saturday, like 70% of some showers.
Oh,
So,
really? So
so
so so so they got some weather coming through.
yeah, big time on Saturday.
Well, one of the things that really helped with the weather in the travelers, they had on Sunday clean in place. Which is
Yeah,
good. Now, for those of you out there that don't know what clean in place is, I know we have a lot of golfers that catch us on YouTube and stuff. But for you amateurs that don't know, when there has been weather, course is wet, you get a lot of mud balls. So the officials allow you to, pick up your ball and clean it. And basically, you can give yourself a lie, you know,
you
which
get to
is
play.
good.
You get to place it back down, not a drop, huh?
Yeah, you get to place it. You get to place it, and the best part about that is, I'd have to find out the ruling on this. I don't know what the rule is, but I know when I play clean in place, if I hit my ball on a divot, I pick it up, I clean it, and I put it. I don't put it back
Yeah,
in the divot.
it's probably. I'm not sure what the pro rule is, but
No, I don't think. Here's the thing: they can move the ball, and again, if there's somebody out in the chat that can correct me on this, but I'm pretty sure you can move the ball. You just can't go any closer to the hole. So if
yeah,
you want to move it back a foot, you can.
it's probably not like a club length, but
Yeah, yeah.
as
It's
long as
not.
it's
It's
no closer to the hole.
right, right. It's not like playing an unplayable lie or something where you get one or two club lengths depending on the tournament. Because a lot of the tournaments too also have their own rules. Well, I would say added rules. So, but now, Frank, the grass that they're playing on, the type of grass that they're playing on is bent grass, and I think um, what is it? What's Passaic County Golf Course? Is that a Kentucky bluegrass or is that a bent grass?
I'm gonna guess it's Kentucky Blue. Like
Right.
we have a lot of that in North Jersey.
Yeah, the Kentucky. Wait, one of the things I like about Kentucky Blue, and the same thing with bent grass, it's pretty wispy. So it's not like down here in Florida. If you get stuck in the rough, or you're out in California and you get stuck in the rough, that rough just gobbles your ball up.
Yeah,
Good luck getting out of it. Now, when they play the Open and they're on Kentucky bluegrass or bent grass, they let that grass grow high, so your ball does get gobbled up. Excuse me. But on a lot of the courses that on like regular play, public courses, private courses, second cut, third cut, you could still get out of the rough and you could be safe. But when it comes to these professional courses, the venues, these guys are you get in the rough, you're deep in. What I did was I had a tough time, Frank, trying find a flyover.
for Detroit, eh?
I I was trying to hit my cough button there. but I guess I didn't. I did find a flyover from 22, and it's only 2 years ago, so the course hasn't changed much. What's the distance of the course?
7,370, and they say
Okay,
it's like a pretty easy course. There's going to be a lot of birdies again this week, just like last week. The
okay,
average winning for the tournaments there has been minus 23, but it could be as high as like 30 under this week.
really?
Yep, that's
Well,
what they're.
last week, I think it was a record last week too. The score, what was it? 20? Oh no, tied for the record, 23 under.
Yep.
It tied for the record. How about that guy that shot the 59? He almost tied Jim Furyk's record. What is his name? Oh my goodness!
That's
I,
unbelievable.
Again, Chef Thom is unprepared, everybody. But you know what? Because we know absolutely nothing about golf. But I do have it here because we have an article at our webpage about it. And by the way, everybody, don't forget to check out our webpage, bleacherbrothers.com. Definitely check it out. But what was his name? I can't remember. I wish AJ was in the chat there because he sent me the article. I read it. I remembered the guy's name, but now I'm having like a major brain fart. But he had a 59. All he had two holes left, and he if he finished par, he would have he ties the record. All he had to do was birdie any one of those holes, and he would have tied he has the second lowest score in PGA history, and he would have tied Jim Furyk for the lowest score ever in a PGA tournament, which was 58. And I remember that tournament because it was at the Travelers when he did that, you know. And that was. And Jim Furyk's one of my favorite golfers. I followed Jim in the 2008 U.S. Open when it was in Torrey Pines. When I was living in San Diego. And I followed his career. I loved it when he won the FedEx when the last round. It was just pouring rain, and he's leaning over, and the water's just pouring off of his hat. So he takes this, and he does this, and he puts it and drops it in. And him and Fluff just went crazy. That was great. Hey, Steven, do me a favor if you can. See how Fluff the caddy is doing, okay? Because remember he got injured. Was it during the Open? And there was a play. It was either during the Open or the Memorial where he tripped coming off of one of the greens. And the one, I think you're the one that brought that up to me that he had like three or four. The player it wasn't Colin Morikawa, but the player ended up having like four different caddies throughout the whole tournament.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I don't recall. I'm sorry, buddy.
yeah, I'm pretty sure you brought that up to me. I don't recall a lot of things either, so that's all good. But talking about this tournament, let's go hole by hole. We'll do our picks. I do want to play something. You know what? Before we do the hole by hole, Steven, I want to play this, Frank, and let's get your reaction on this. This is pretty wild. All right, all right. Share this tab instead. All right. Hey, Steven, go full screen on this. Now, this here is. Thank you. There we go. Perfect. Look at that. All right. So let me explain. Let me set this up. This is the 18th hole at the Travelers. Okay. Scheffler is up by one. Kim obviously won back. Uh, Look at that guy, Batia. Batia. I mean, he made a little bit of a run. He's a young guy too. But anyway, this is the very last hole. And if Kim birdies the hole, okay, it goes into a playoff. Right? If Scheffler pars and Kim birdies, it goes into a playoff. So now I know a lot of you out there watching the show already know what happened. There's a lot of people that don't. So I'm going to get this. I'm going to start this, and here we go. You can play the sound too, Steven, if you'd like.
Oh boy. We've got
Look at Scheffler.
a whole group of protesters here. And they've been tackled on the ground, on the green.
Now, let me say something real quick. Pause. But now on this last day, because there was a rain delay on Saturday, and they instead of going out in twosomes, they went out in threesomes in the final round. And Batia was with these guys. And when they interviewed him after the show or after the round, he said he was legitimately scared. Now, I probably would have been too, because number one, you don't know what's in those cans that they're tossing around.
When I saw the red smoke, I thought it was for Palestine. It ended up being for global warming.
Yeah, they're climate activists.
Well, police have responded quickly, but we've got. I see 4 protesters that have been handcuffed.
They're like, guys, don't worry about it.
They just came flying down the hill out of the gallery. There's some red powder right in the area of the cup.
Yeah, about 4 feet away. And as everybody was running around the green, you kind of wonder what sort of footprint.
Now, here's another thing, too. These guys got their golf clubs in their hands, man. Frank.
Now, the cops did a great job here tackling these guys, getting them the hell
out. But I wouldn't have run through the sand trap. I would have ran around it. Because once you hit that sand, you lose a step or two.
Well, they're not the smartest. They're the climate activists,
No, but here's the thing, too, that I don't get, right, is if I was a fan there, I probably would have I'm surprised. I can't really say I would have ran out there too, because then I would have gotten tackled. Okay, but if there wasn't a lot of cops around, let's say it was like the 3rd round, and it was a different hole, and there's not a lot of security around that hole, I'm sure a lot of these fans would have beat the shit out of those guys. Sorry, we don't have the beep button today, but I think that would have happened. Now,
deservingly so.
Oh, deservingly so. But if I were any one of these 3 golfers here, Scheffler, Batia, or Kim, man, I would have had my club like this. I would have been waiting.
That would have been great. Great entertainment.
Yeah, and I'll tell you right now, the players that I would expect to be like that would have been Rory McIlroy, Sean Lowry, like guys that don't take crap from anybody. They're kind of edging for it. Cool. All right, so now look at all the cops on the green. Look at you got the white crap over here, the white crap here. You got the orange stuff, and I think
were left out there.
Other than the paint, Trevor, there is no apparent damage.
Police did a wonderful job.
Yes, they did. The Cromwell Police Department
Cromwell, Connecticut
was on it quickly. I mean, if you were one of these players, one's trying to close out a turn.
Okay, so now that's Scotty Scheffler's ball right there on the fringe. And Kim is marked, and Patia is marked. So now, as a golfer, now I don't know how you feel about this, Frank, but I'm pretty adamant about this. And because your livelihood is with landscaping
and the turf.
And you've worked that golf course just on greens and stuff. Look at all the footprints.
The greens.
You don't see them. Say again, Frank.
Said the green's all screwed up. They just had footprints everywhere. Everyone's just about to putt.
Right. That's where you got these cops with these heavy shoes. And the thing is everybody's walking around on the green. So what do you do?
It's not going to be a true roll.
Yeah. Somebody walks in my line. I'm especially in when I'm playing in like this Sunday, I'll be playing in a scramble. Scramble, kind of not a big deal because you get a bunch of shots and you can move the ball a little bit right to left. But when you're playing like points or you're playing for money, somebody steps in my line. People don't realize it, but it really does affect the roll of the ball. I watched this video of that. This you know how they have the stint meter when they roll out the ball
Yeah,
right
yeah.
down. Okay, so the guy had a stint meter, and he rolls the ball and goes right in the hole. Does like 5 times in a row. Boom, 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 boom. Right, and then he walks up, like casually walks in the line, and then he does 5 more balls, and only one of them went in. So it does make a difference because the grass doesn't recover that quick, you know. And
Yeah, to some degree for sure.
yeah,
Hopefully,
it doesn't recover. Oh, another thing, going back to that stint meter thing. You know how the big thing during COVID was, leaving the flag stick in, and then the PGA adopted that. You have the option now of leaving the stick in or out. Okay, well, the guy did like 10 balls in a row, and I think a handful of them. I think it was like 4 out of the 10, so 40% hit the stick and bounced away. But then when he pulled the stick out, all 10 of them went in the hole. So I will tell you this: I am never ever leaving that stick in the hole. You know.
unless you're like, maybe 50 feet away, you need a backboard.
Yeah, but yeah, in case you're blasting it. So, all right, let's go back to this video.
Tournament. One's trying to force a playoff. What does this do to your mindset at a moment like this?
Yeah, look, you're just trying to roll through with it. Keep taking a few deep breaths.
Crowd is starting to settle down.
This is a putt to win it. One of those strange.
But hang on. One of the things they didn't tell you here, and they didn't show, they actually fast forwarded, I guess. Um, the uh, the rules board for this tournament and the head officials came out, and what they were going to do was they were going to they couldn't figure out what. Oh no, it was after this hole. Hang on, I'm jumping ahead of myself. All right, so now you got all these footprints on the green. Now here we go.
Just finishes you'd ever see. It's turning.
Yeah, missed the putt.
Boy, that was close.
Was trekking right in there. A lot of speed right at the end.
Just fast
Hit
forward.
a lot of good putts on this second side.
Bad arm. We have a
needs his
playoff.
putt for a tie.
Then we'll have to see what they're going to do as far as trying to get this green back to normal.
Gotta make a putt first.
He knows it. He knew it all the way.
All right, Jim. Thank you for your excitement.
I've seen it before out of him. He's not afraid of the moment.
Scotty.
All right, now typically, Frank, in most tournaments, they have a playoff like already set up. U.S. Open, not anymore, but U.S. Open used to go to the following day, and you play a full 18, one against the other. Okay, and I think they still do that only with certain venues. A lot of tournaments, though, will go back to 18. And if they tie again, then they go back to 17. And if they tie, then they play 18 again. And then they go back even further. That's how they do it, right? Well, so what they discussed was, and I was saying this too, I was like, what is going to, how are they going to like fix this hole? What are
So
they
it's
gonna
like sudden
do?
death.
Yeah, now it's in sudden death playoff. So I'm like, well, the green's kind of pretty effed up right now from all these people walking all over it. So what they said was to make it fair for both players. Okay. Thank you, Steve. We're going to be coming on a hard break in about 4.5 minutes. So they said what they did to make it fair for all, for Scotty and Kim, instead of moving the hole, which kind of would have screwed it up for the fans too. Let's say they went back to 17. I kind of would have sucked for the fans because who's going to walk all the way back to, the tournament's not going to wait for everybody to get there. They're just going to play. So what they did was the greenskeepers came out and they moved the hole to make it. So now they both, the opportunity is there to, risk and reward for both. Nobody has an advantage over the other, which I thought was kind of cool. So let's play through.
66. And these two who.
Okay, so anyway, you can take that off the screen, Steve. I'm going to keep my thing up here. Sorry, guys. That's me. Hey, Steve, you can go back to full screen with me and Frank now. Thank you. Anyway, so you're the best, brother. And nice haircut, Steven. You look good. And the beard, too. No beard. So anyway, I got to give him a little bit. I don't have the replay of this, but they both hit great drives. Kim went right. Scheffler went left. Scheffler puts it on the green about 8 feet from the hole. Kim, I think he was only about 130 out, and he went short and put it in the trap. Game over, man. You know, so he has to hole out to force a tie because, you know, Scheffler's definitely going to drop that. So that's how that ended. What you know what we're going to do? Hey, Steven, can we jump into the break a little early? Why don't we do this, guys? We're going to jump into like a 5-minute break. Okay. We'll take a little bit of a break here. When we come back, we are going to preview this week's tournament. And, you guys are going to get both mine and Frank's picks for the tournament. And we're going to go whole by, I got a flyover the course. It's from 2022, but the course changed very little. So you'll be able to see what this course is going to be like what Frank said. And I agree with Frank because I've watched this tournament numerous times, regardless of where it was. The setup is typically pretty easy, like Travelers, correct, Frank? They call for low scores.
You're kind of breaking up on me a little bit.
Uh-oh. Is that better?
Yeah, much better.
AJ always says, get the mic closer to your mouth. How's that?
Yeah, now you're golden.
Hot to
it. She's famous for sure.
Oh, yeah. Mama must be proud.
I never saw anything go crazy viral like that. Never.
Yeah. Yeah, that's insane.
That was too much.
There's even a matter of fact, and I do have to say this, we're coming on a hard break in 50 seconds, but I've gotten a handful of fan mail saying, why don't you talk about the Live Tour? I will start talking about the Live Tour. We'll bring the Live Tour, Frank, in after the Open. The Open. We'll bring that in after. We'll start talking about the Live Tour after the Open, and we'll just go from there. I really need to start incorporating it because I do watch the Live Tour when it's available. Hey, Joe, how you doing? Glad you joined us. Oh, you've been watching those videos too because I saw the Iron Sheik one as well. All right, we're coming on a hard break. So, Steven, let's go to the break. When we come back, we will...
Joey.
Yeah, there he is. When we come back, we're going to get into the tournament and then do the flyovers, and we're going to wrap it up. How's that sound, Frank?
Yeah, man.
All right, cool. All right, Steven, let it roll, brother.
Most people think I'm a real monster, but actually I'm quite sensitive. That's why I drink light beer from Miller. Tastes great, but what I really like is it's less filling. And light's got 1/3 less calories than their regular beer. I can't afford to get filled up. I'm too sensitive.
Okay, Mr. Sensitive, you're up.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
You know, I finally found a beer I can respect. Light beer from Miller. It tastes great. But what I really like is it's less filling. Light has 1/3 less calories than their regular beer. I tell you, I gotta watch myself. This is a tough place. Well, this place is so tough, the hat check girl's name is Dominic. In a place like this, I gotta move fast. I can't afford to get filled up. I tell you, I don't get no respect.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Mr. Butkus and I have a problem. I do not appreciate American football.
And I don't appreciate rugby.
However, there is one thing we both appreciate. Light beer from Miller. Light contains 1/3 less calories than their regular beer. It's also less filling.
But our favorite thing is the way it tastes.
Quite right, Dickie boy. I'll never like your football, but I do love your light beer.
Mike, I'll never like rugby, but I do love those cute little shorts.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
You know, it used to take 43 Marthrone beer baseball cards to get one call for Rilla. So I was surprised when the light beer people called me to do this commercial. I mean, I do drink light beer, and it tastes great. It's got a third less calories than their regular beer, and it's less filling. But, you know, I'm kind of worried, because if I do for light beer what I did for baseball, I'm afraid their sales might go down.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
There's this big argument going on about light beer from Miller.
Right.
Some guys argue the best thing about it that it's less filling.
No, that's true.
It has a third less calories than their regular beer. Other guys say the best thing about it is its great taste.
Here, here.
I feel very strongly both ways. After all, I'm not the kind of a guy who ever gets into an argument.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
When you order a beer, do like Smoking Joe. Order light beer from Miller and say no more. It's got the third less calories than the regular beer. Light tastes great, y'all, but listen here. It's not the thing that makes me shout. Light's less filling, hey, that really knocks me out.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
You know, a lot of people think Billy and I argue all the time. Actually, we agree on just about everything, right, Bill?
You betcha, George.
We even drink the same beer.
Light beer from Miller. Light's got a third less calories than their regular beer, and it's less filling.
And the best thing is it tastes so great.
No, George, the best thing is less filling.
No, Bill, it tastes great.
Less filling, George.
Billy, it tastes great.
Less filling, George.
Billy?
Yeah, George.
You're fired.
Oh, not again.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Excuse me. I'm not the same crazy coach who used to storm around the sidelines yelling at the officials. I've learned to relax, and I drink light beer from Miller. Do you know that light's got a third less calories than a regular beer? And listen to this. Light doesn't fill me up. Besides that, light tastes fantastic. Oh, sure, there are a lot of other beers around, and you can drink any one you want. But let me tell you this.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
As I was saying, I don't care what anybody else.
This guy thinks he makes a better Bob Uecker than I do. Bingo! See, you can't imitate the old Uke just like you can't imitate Miller Lite. Oh, these fans, I love them. Hey, Light is still the only leading beer with a third less calories than the regular beer and a great taste, too.
Let's go, fella.
Oh, I must be in the front row. Imitations don't make it.
You can't copy an original. There's only one light beer, Miller Lite.
You ever see my John Wayne?
Boy, could I go for a nice cold light beer from Miller. So I thought I'd just pop in at my favorite hangout and have one with the guys. Well, the whole gang drinks light. Oh, sure, there's a lot of other light beers around, but we all agree that light beer from Miller tastes terrific. And get this, it's less filling.
John, how many times have I told you, use the door, huh?
I forgot, I'm sorry.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Like I was saying, light beer tastes great. And another thing.
It's got a short neck and a long history. The original light beer is back in its original Steiny bottle, but not for long. It's Miller time.
And we are back. Steven, can you unmute Frank? Or Frank, you got it? Unmute. There you go. Hey, everybody. We are back with Chef Thom's Tea Time for Betters. We're going to get into the tournament in just a couple minutes here, but real quick, and my apologies to Cameron Young. Cameron Young is the golfer that shot the 59 at the Travelers. It's the first subpar round on the PGA Tour in 4 years. And if I'm not mistaken, there's only been, I think, 10 or 12 players that have done it. So for now, that PGA tournament, I don't know what USGA is. I probably should look that up, but I think we are ready to get into this, Frank. I think what we'll do is we're going to do our flyover, and then
All
we'll
right.
do our picks. How does that sound?
Sounds good, pal. Let's get it. Let's get
All
it
right,
going.
so Steven, let me get that. I think I already have it shared. There we go. All right, so here we go. This Frank, for those who just chimed in, give a little description about this course again.
I threw that paper off to the side. I thought I was done with it. Now it's 7,370 yards, par 72. It's a Detroit Golf Club Rocket Mortgage Classic, and they said it's going to play a little bit longer than that because it's pretty soft, and we got rain coming on Saturday, so you're going to get no
Okay.
roll. Lots of birdies. They're thinking like a negative minus 24 under is going to win, and possibly more than that. So
Now, so for those of you who are checking out the Bleacher Bet page, you can go to our sports betting page. Okay, bleacherbrothers.com betting. Okay, for Bleacher Bet. And what I'd like you to do, and we talk about this every week. I'm sorry I have to keep bringing this up, but pick, load up on the apps. You don't have to put money into it. Shop your odds, okay? And if you like playing certain prop bets, I don't have the Caesar app up right now, but I can give you some idea of some of the prop bets you will probably see. Like Frank just said, winning score, okay? Frank's calling 24 under. I'm calling 23 under. We're within one, but who knows what they're going to be putting on the line. But I'm sure there's going to be a handful of prop bets that you'll be able to choose from. So let's take a look what we've got here. We're going to do a flyover. Hole number one is 397 yards, par four. So, from green to green, pretty straight.
closer to that mic, pal.
Pretty straight on the way out. Okay. How's that, Frank? Much better?
Now I can hear you great.
Okay, so it's a pretty straight shot. Okay, now don't know where pin placements are going to be. I'm guessing on the first. I mean, you always get the first hole jitters, regardless of whether you're professional or not. Some of the seasoned pros will probably be birdieing this hole. Some of the newer players, they'll get par. If they get birdie, they'll be thrilled. All right. But what I like about this hole right here is not a lot of danger coming in. You got a big wide open gap right here coming in. Okay. So let's jump to hole number two so I can get through these. We don't have to watch these stupid darn commercials. Now we got a little bit longer here, a little bit of a shoot coming out. So some of your faders are probably, I'm not going to say you're going to be seeing three wood off the tee here.
You can't put a full screen?
No, hey, Steven. Yeah, let's do that, Steven. Let's go up. Steven is off mic right now.
Nobody wants to look at me.
Yeah, as soon as Steven comes back, I'll tell him to go full screen.
I'm sorry.
Right? So you blast your drive. Now, one of the things that if you look, take a look at where these bunkers are. All right. Now, landing area, I mean, that's within 100 yards. So, a lot of guys, a lot of these bombers, you can get into trouble if you really crush one here. All right. Hey, Steven, let's go full screen. Hey, Steven. He's not listening. Put your headset on, brother. Hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to text him. Isn't modern technology great?
He's at it. Maybe he's got a bunch of girlfriends.
It could be. Ever since you cleaned up. Look
There
at
he is.
All right, Steven, go full screen on this so we can really get a good view of this, okay? All right. All right, there we go. All right, so
nice.
Got your drive. Now, granted, the fairway's probably going to be a little narrower, and the rough's probably going to be a little
lot of
longer.
trees.
Say again?
That's a lot of trees.
A lot of trees lining the fairway, and you have OB left, and you have OB right, because you got the parking lot on the left, and you got the practice range on the right. So coming in, the green, pretty big green, not the postage stamps that we've seen at the U.S. Open and last week. Okay, there wasn't a lot of postage stamps, but there was a handful. Okay,
I like these flyovers. Pretty cool.
Yeah, they are very cool. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of trouble. Going to be a lot of pars on this hole. Maybe you're going to see a few bogeys and only a handful of birdies. Moving on to the third hole, another short par 4, pretty straight out. And Frank, to what you were saying before, I mean, these first 3 holes, you're going to see probably a lot of players getting 2 out of 3 birdies. They're gonna birdie 1, par 2, birdie 3.
At least one.
Yeah, at least, but I mean, look at the approach here. This is a player's course. I mean, this is some of these guys are going to gobble this up, and some of these long ball hitters. I mean, that when you get into your wedge shots, like you got your money clubs. Okay, my money club is my 8-iron and my gap wedge. Telling you, I get that gap wedge in my hand. I'm not saying I'm putting it inside the pizza box, but I'm putting it within. I'm giving myself birdie opportunity. I'm anywhere. I'm usually within a 10-foot circle with my gap wedge.
Nice.
Yeah. My 8-iron, pretty dead on with my 8-iron too, but I'm using an 8-iron from like 140 out. These guys are using gap wedges from and pitching wedges from 140 out. All right. Pretty big green. Pin placement, not going to be a big deal. Here we go. This is number 4, and I missed what the yardage was here. Number 4, 453-yard par 4, pretty straight again. Here we go. So yeah, now I'm sorry. Hole 4 is a par 5. Whoa,
635 yards.
635, bro.
Damn.
Slight dog leg left. Check out that sand trap. You see where my pointer is?
Yeah.
Look at that sand trap right there. I'm saying there's going to be a lot of guys. You get in that sand trap, there's no way you're getting home in 2. Okay. So most of these bombers on the tour average, what are they? 330?
Yeah, right. 320, 330.
And then again, you got the bombers like Scheffler, Kim. These guys are going to be hitting it, 330 to 350. I mean, Kim hit a couple drives last week over 350, and I mean, he hit what was it, 13 out of 18 fairways, including the par 3s. He was pretty right on. But this is a pretty straightforward par 5, not a big carry to get to the fairway, and this bunker right here for some of these bombers is going to create a little bit of an issue. But look at the approach shot, the approach. So let's say you get out into here, and they put the pin on the left side of the ring, because I'm not going to say it's a dog leg. It's a very slight dog leg left, but you got to play right side of the fairway there. You don't play right side.
Yeah, second shot, you're going to hit on the right.
Oh, yeah.
Just get a
but if
straight angle in.
But let's say you hit your drive, you're aiming out here, okay, to where this trap is. Most players are going to try to hit it to the right side so they have a clear shot to the green. Problem is if you hit it over here behind this trap, man, good luck getting it on. I mean, you got a lot of shot shapers, but if the pin is tucked behind this trap, and I guarantee you that the pin is going to be tucked behind that trap on the final day, without a doubt. So good luck with that.
That's a long hole, buddy.
That is a very long hole. Okay. Hole number 3 is a par 3, 167, can go probably as much as 200 and as low as 150, depending on where they set the tees. This is going to be a money hole for a lot of players, and I wouldn't doubt it if you see maybe at least one on this hole. Now that pin placement all the way in the back, who knows what pin placement is right now? That you don't really know until the day of. Hole number 6, 461. I like this flyover because it's pretty quick. 461 straight out, dog leg right. So we're going to get a lot of guys coming out right here, and then shooting right in. Oh, this is cool. We got no more commercials. I love it. I'll have to deal with it. You play the right side of the fairway, you got to deal with these trees right here on the right. So good shot is straight up the middle. It is a short hole. You're probably going to see a handful of players using 3-wood off the tee only because you can control 3-wood better than you control drive.
Who knew Detroit was so nice?
Yeah, it all depends on where you are in Detroit, I guess. Actually, Detroit. I've traveled to Detroit many times for business, and there's a lot of nice areas in Detroit. There really is. I kind of like Detroit. A lot of fun. I just don't like flying in and out of that airport because it's such a pain in the butt. All right, there we go. Moving right along. Here we go. A much more manageable par five. You know, you'll see a lot of players getting home in two, but maybe a handful of eagles, but I don't think it's going to produce a lot of eagles. But then again, you know how it is the way they set the tees. If the tees are playing forward, because this is when they're showing the tees, when they're showing the yardage, that's from the back tees. Okay, so first day they might have those tees way up. They might have them in the middle. So instead of being 552 yards, you may have a 505. You may have a 530, and that's very doable for a lot of players. So coming in, we got a slight dog leg left into the hole. Perfect setup for a draw. The players hitting that draw. Coming into hole number 8, very manageable par 4. You get a power fader here, you're going to get some guys getting it on the green. Big drivers. Now, unfortunately, we don't have Dustin Johnson playing on the PGA, but this is a hole he would be going for. Same thing with Rory. Definitely Bryson. Bryson's going for anything that's under 390. He's going for it. All right, this hole here, right, par 3. We got 207 yards. 207 yards is pretty tough. And if you last week's tournament, we had the same thing. During the U.S. Open, did you see the distance on some of those holes at the Open? It was insane. I mean, some of those par 3s were playing like over 220. That's a driver for me. All right, so there is a layup area. Not going to be a lot of players laying up on this unless they hit a bad shot. That's the only time you're going to be seeing the layup on that. And wouldn't even think about it. The par 4, number 10 on the turn, 425, dog leg left. Again, we got trees on the left here, right where these sprinklers are. This is target area right here. Everybody's going to be either hitting here or right here in the gut. And then you have a nice shot in. You got your drive out 3 something. Oh, stupid darn commercial. Hey, let's look at the eggs. Look at that. What kind of pan is that? Oh, wow. Our place. Pan Pro. Never heard of it. How the heck can you sear in a nonstick pan? I don't get it. Looks like a knockoff of Hex Clap.
Fire it up, boy.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, we could skip that. Yeah, we don't need to hear him.
Yeah, man.
All right, so landing area is going to be right up the gut right here. A lot of guys are probably going to play right just to be safe. Get it in here. You're going to see a bunch of players coming up in here. Coming into the hole, a slight dog leg left, not a big dog leg left. Going to have a lot of shot shaping on this hole. Moving on to the
Tommy, what's that off to the right? Is that like hospitality tents? Is that where like the beer and food is?
Let's see. Yeah, like right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now I'm sure a lot of that is hospitality, but not right there. That right there, probably setting up. Probably like there's the beer trailer. See the beer trailer?
I need to know where the beer thing is.
Yeah, that's the beer trailer right there. I'm sure that's probably like going to be like a little sitting area. But now again, this is 22 set up, and who knows what it's going to be like for this tournament. But I'm sure they're going to have a lot of food and a lot of beer. And there's probably going to be a lot of stupid people at this tournament too. But that's okay, because I like it when people, you have stupid people at the tournament.
Might as well enjoy yourself.
Yeah, it kind of makes it a little fun. That's like the live tour. That's why we need to start Frank, we have to start covering some of these live tournaments. They're insane.
Yeah.
They're And a matter of fact, like, you know how you hear people yelling all the time, Baba Booey, get it in the hole, right? This past weekend when Bryson was hitting, after he blasted his drive, what do you think somebody yelled?
The same. Oh, Christ.
And everybody went crazy. And, of course, players on the PGA were disgusted. There's no place for that on the PGA. Well, that's why it's at the Live Tour. I mean, these guys are blasting music. There's a lot of distraction in that. And that's one of the things, too, is you go to a baseball game, you go to a basketball game, you go to a football game, the opposing fans are always going nuts. Right? Right, Frank? Frank? Yeah, and look, even Joe's saying the same thing. Everyone's going to be saying it this week. They already have hats and T-shirts. I mean, that girl, she probably should have trademarked that.
I saw her online. I don't know if she has her own official site yet or what.
No, she was just some knucklehead coming out of a bar that some guy interviewed.
Nah, she's already selling merch online.
Yeah, it happened last week, and somebody was representing.
I don't know if she has the rights to it, but
no,
she's selling her own merch too.
All right, so let's move on to next hole. Let's make sure there's no commercials coming up. Okay, good. Oh, there you go, Frank. There's your hospitality tents.
Nice.
Right behind the green. Now, you've been to professional golf tournament, you said? A handful of them?
Yeah, to the Open twice.
Okay. I will tell you, some of the best food I have ever eaten was at golf tournaments. But fortunate for me, I had VIP tickets. So nice. It was pretty good. But even out for, on the course, they still have some great food out on the course. A lot of beers. All right, so let's move along to this is another long par 3. This is what I was talking about. Look, it's 233 yards. Tees may be up on the first day, back on the next day. Who knows where it's going to be? That's a pretty big green. But the problem is with this, you go long. Now, here's the thing. When you're hitting a long club, it's kind of hard to stop the ball. So that's why, let me go back a little bit. That's what you see this whole area right here. So a lot of guys are probably going to be hitting here and bouncing up to the green, hoping they don't go through. Scotty Scheffler, and I don't even think he's playing this week, is he?
No.
I didn't see him. But if Scotty Scheffler was playing, if Bryson DeChambeau were playing, they typically hit high balls and can get them to stop, even with their low irons and hybrids or woods. So you're not going. This will probably be more bogeys on that hole than birdies, guaranteed.
Yeah, Tommy. A lot of the guys took off this week.
Yeah, because they're going over to the Open. They're getting over to Scotland, getting ready for the Open. Matter of fact, I think the Scottish Open is this weekend too. I don't even know why we're not talking about that. Oh well. Could be next week because the British Open is not this coming week. It's the Scottish Open is next week. All right, 489 par 4, straight up. We'll see a handful of birdies on this hole. This is a par 5 for you and me. Back in the day, yeah, maybe we'd be lucky to get a birdie, but we're always happy to walk out with the par or a bogey. I always say, it's like they say in baseball, a ball's as good as a hit, or a walk is as good as a hit, Frank?
Sure.
Yeah, well, guess what? A bogey's as good as a par on a long course like this. Say again? The week after? So that's 2 weeks. Like I said, 2 weeks. Yeah, Stephen, when's the Scottish Open? No, that's the British. That's the Open, the Open Championship. Look up Scottish Open. Joe Quinlan. Oh, so you were right, Stephen. Scottish Open is the week after 4th of July, and then we got which used to be called the British Open. It's just the Open now. Thanks, Joe, for those dates. That's going to be a great tournament, and we will definitely be highlighting that tournament. And I will be studying like crazy for that.
Joe Q is on his game. British Open dates.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah. And by the way, everybody, don't forget to check out Joe Q's show on Saturday. Joe, what time's your show at? Type it in there real quick. I think it's 11, isn't it? Eastern time? Frank?
10 a.m., pretty sure.
Okay. And I believe, Frank, you're going to be a guest on that show this weekend, aren't you?
I don't think we haven't totally confirmed, but I haven't checked my text messages. But yeah, I'm pretty sure.
10 a.m. Eastern time, 7 a.m. Pacific time. So I guess you and Joe and AJ will be getting together on that.
I think we're going over to Churchill card. There's a lot of stakes races.
Oh yeah, so that's a show I gotta have to watch because
horse racing, my specialty. Let's get it on,
specialty.
Joey. Psyched up.
Soon to be golf betting because you've actually done. You did pretty good for the Open, didn't you?
Yeah, we were plus 9,000 in that tournament. Last week we gave back 1,000.
So you're still up.
Yeah, so since you've had me on, I'm plus 8,000 on the show. So
that's not bad at all.
Still got to give our bets here.
But I'll tell you right now, if what's his name, Tom Kim comes in, you'll be a happy camper. All right, here we got a number 13, 393 yards. Let's do our fly over here. Check it out. Ooh, look at that guy driving the truck on the side over there. You'll have a handful of players going for this green because it's risk or reward. If you bomb a drive and you get it to hit right here and get that release to roll up, if you go in the trap, you're safe. You know, some of the best players would rather be in the trap than in the rough, and that's how I am too. And I'm not one of the best players, but I'll tell you what, I am deadly out of the trap around the greens with my 60 degree. All right, so we got this here is we got a par 5, 555 yards. This is straight out. We will see a handful of eagles on this hole. All depends on what we got coming up around the hole. And this here looks like a party hole. Check it out. Oh, hang on. Well, I'm going to take that back.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, we got water right here. This must be the signature hole. So you will have a handful of players. If you get some bombers and they're bombing, 350 and they only got 200 in, if they're bombing 325 and they got 225 in, there'll be guys going for the green, but I will probably say you're going to see a lot of layups here. Right here is going to play havoc, guaranteed. All right,
lay up and get up and down, get a birdie and get the hell out of there.
That's it. Yep, take your birdie and get on to the next hole. So you do have a backstop back here, which is good. So if you hit it in that backstop, you get you get a little bit of a
bounce.
Yeah, and you also get a little bit help with the lie. All right, there's the Rocket Mortgage tent. With this short par 3, another hole, may see a handful of hole-in-ones on this hole. Pretty short, not huge green. This is definitely a premier hole. We got a lot around it, so we're going to see a handful of hole-in-ones here. Another par 4 coming straight out, little slight dog leg left, not too difficult. Make sure we got no more commercials coming up, so you guys don't have to sit through them. This hole pretty straightforward. Landing area right here. Most guys are going to be pitching wedge, 9 iron, 8 iron in, depending on their drives. Now, problem is backing up. Sorry about that. If you get into one of these traps, you got to figure you roll into that trap, you could be up against the edge of the trap right here. Okay, lip of the trap. Good luck getting it out. You get into this trap or this trap, I think you're going to be okay. Getting into this trap, you're in a little bit of deep doo-doo there, guys. This would be a course I would love to play. I wonder exactly where in Detroit this was. I looked it up before, saw it. It was, I've driven past so many great courses when I was in Detroit. Hole number 17, we got a par 5, 577, depending on how they set up the pins. Got a little bit of trouble, right, left. You got trees to the left. You got a lot of guys that are probably. We'll see a handful of birdies here, a lot of pars, maybe 1 or 2 eagles if we're lucky to see that, which would be nice. And we'll probably see a handful of bogeys on this one. Take a look at that hole. Did we talk about this hole right here? What hole is that? Is that 18? I hope it is. That's the last hole. Look at all the stands. It's got to be 18. That has to be. Obviously, you guys, you could see I didn't preview this, did you? Yep, that is it. Look at that. Grandstand, 18 coming in,
18.
55. Bet you there's going to be water on the left. What do you think? There we go.
You're good.
Here we go. We're gonna get guys hitting their drives out to here. You may get some guys going driver so they can advance a little bit more up the fairway. Probably going to see a bunch of 3-woods off the tee here. Oop, 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 oop. We got a dry gulch right here. Yeah, that's going to create a little bit issues for some players. And look at that country.
Fancy.
Oh, you want to know something? I'm not going to say I've been to this course.
Look at that pool.
Yeah, but I did an event in that country club. Yeah. During the wintertime. How long ago was that? 2017, 2018. It was like in January or February because I remember somebody telling me it's like a very, I think they'd never said what tournament it was, but they say, oh, this place where the event's going to be. There's, they play golf tournaments there, and we were back up a little bit. Our event was over on this side because I remember these buildings right here because this is where we had to park. What a beautiful building! Now I was a carpenter back in the day, and when I saw all the work on the inside of that place, it blew me away, man. That was gorgeous.
What were you doing in Detroit?
I was just doing a trade show for a company that I worked with, and it was a lot of fun. Got to meet a lot of people. So there we go. Let's stop sharing there, Steven. You can bring us back on up, and we're going to make our picks, and then we're going to sign off. So Frank, what do you think of the course?
Now it looks nice, man. I didn't.
Gorgeous course.
It looks really nice. I think like that.
Frank, I think a lot of guys are going deep on this one. I think
definitely going to have some low scores.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see a bunch of low scores. So let's go back to the tournament here, Rocket Mortgage. So your pick. Give me who's your top three.
My top three this week.
Number one first. Let's do number one first, and I'll give you my number one.
All right, I'm going to bet $300 on three separate golfers. I'm going to go Tom Kim, the favorite, plus 1200, 12 to 1. I'm going to bet 300 to win 3,900 on Tom Kim.
That's a beautiful thing. Okay, my pick, Tom Kim as well. Number one pick for me. All right.
All right. Second.
Not sure what I'm going to bet, but it ain't going to be 300.
Second pick, Min Woo Lee, plus 1,800. That's fun to say. And it's 300 to win 5,400, Min Woo Lee.
Min Woo Lee down. Where's Batia? Did you see him? Hang on, I'll pull him up right now. Batia. Where's your keyboard? Oh, there we go. It's BH, right? BH, I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Ashke Batia. He's plus 2,000. He was in the final group last week. He finished third place. He's young. He's hungry. I'm putting him in my top five. I'm not picking him as a winner, but he's definitely going in my top five. I always like to throw top five. Okay, so who's your third player?
My last one, I got Taylor Pendrith. He's 25 to 1 plus 2,500. 300 to win 7,500. Hits a really long ball. He's been super hot with the putter lately, and he finished second here in 2022. So
okay, so this is right up his alley. Totally right up his alley.
He knows the course. And then I was going to follow all three of these golfers up. I'm going to bet them all in the top 10 for $100 each for giggles. Okay. Tom Kim plus 160, Min Woo Lee plus 230, Taylor Pendrith plus 280. So 100 on all of them. And then I looked up the head-to-heads. I'm going to play the same three golfers for head-to-heads. This week, Tom Kim is minus 150 to Aaron Ray.
Okay.
So I'm going to bet I'm going to put 500 on these. No, you know what? We're going to go 1,000. So we're going 1,500 on Tom Kim to win 1,000.
Okay.
Second bet, Min Woo Lee minus 115 against Akshay Bhatia. He's minus 110. So I'm going to take Min Woo Lee minus 1150 to win 1,000.
Okay.
And the last bet for the week, Taylor Pendrith minus 115 against Steven Jaeger minus 105. So I'm gonna lay 1150 to win 1,000 on Taylor Pendrith.
Okay, my third pick, because I'm not going to do any head to heads. I am going to do a handful of. Well, I got that in a second. My third pick is going to be Cameron Young. Cameron Young was on fire last week. He shot a 59. He couldn't miss. He did struggle a little bit on the final day, but I will tell you this: nobody. I mean, he just jumped out of nowhere. Dude, you shoot, 11 under. I mean, that puts you right up there in the mix. Unfortunately, he had a bad Friday. He made the cut on Friday. And he didn't have that great of a round on Sunday. But he had a better round than Tom Kim on Sunday. So if he's up there in the mix, that's for me, safe bet for me. Now he is his odds plus 1400. All right. Now, what I always do, and I know Frank says don't spend, don't. What do you say all the time about?
No, less is more. Don't spread it out too much.
Okay, less is more, and I totally agree with that. That's why I'll bet like $5 on a couple of high odds players if I see them in the top 10. But you very rarely see them, posted in the top 10 because casinos don't, and the book, they don't want to lose money. You put them in the top 10, you got somebody that's like plus 20,000 in the top. You're not going to see that. But you will see that in top 5 if they are a real high odds player like Josh Jeter, Tim Wilkinson, Martin Trainer.
Yeah, somebody with really high odds is gonna. You could probably get a good price in the top 5. I didn't really look at the top 5 pool, to be honest.
Right, but I don't. But I don't. I don't. Blow my cookies in the lobby with those. With those high odds and put them on as a win. I will put them in top 5, or top 10, and some of the players. Not some of them. I will pick one really high odds and bet $1 on it. That's for sure.
What the hell?
Hey, why not? I mean, look at this. You got some of these players. I think the highest odds plus 100,000, plus 100,000, plus 100,000. You pick any one of these guys that's plus 100,000, and you put $1 on it. That's $1,000. Correct?
Yeah, that could work, man.
Now here's something. Stuart Sink. I wonder if he's ever won this. Let's pop on him real quick. Okay, Stuart Sink. I mean, the guy's 51, but he still plays good. His kid is on the bag, which is good. He for 24, he has no top 10s or
At what age do you go to the senior tour? 55.
He plays on the senior tour. But it wasn't very long ago. He was right up there for the Open. I think he won not the U.S. Open, the British Open. Stuart Sink is still a pretty good player. He could be one of these guys. If they have odds available for him in top 20 and top 10, it's worth throwing $10-20 on it. Just for shits and giggles. You know what I'm saying? So, anything else you're betting on this week, Frank? You want to give anybody some there real quick?
Just tonight, I got the Dodgers minus 1.5.
Nothing special.
Early action. Seattle, Tampa Bay. I pushed. I had a couple winners. Kansas City over Miami today, minus 1.5 and under 9.
Yeah, I think
right now we got the Yankees and Mets game. I have the Yanks. I'm looking at it was 3-0 before when I looked, but
what's it at now?
I don't know. I gotta find out.
So being a professional gambler,
they got the Yankees and under 8.5 runs.
And the under. What's the score right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna Google it. New York Yankees score.
Oh, so you guys got a rain delay going on right now. What inning, Steven?
And 5th.
Bottom of the 5th. And who's winning? Yankees? Oh, you got to be kidding me. Yeah, I know, but the Mets are beating the Yankees. I thought the Mets kind of sucked this year.
Nah, they've been hot lately,
Yeah, they've
man.
been hot lately, but they started out like
The last 20 games, they probably won like 14.
so they were way over 500 in the last 20 games. Then good for them. Used to be a Met fan.
Yeah,
I mean, their
they had
bullpen
Grimace
still
throughout the
stinks.
first pitch.
Say again, Steven?
They had Grimace throughout the first pitch for the Mets.
Oh, no kidding.
And they went on a streak, won 7 games when Grimace threw it out, and then they lost one in Texas. And the Mets are also without their closer Edwin Diaz. He got suspended for 10 games for having sticky substance before he went in.
I had them that night.
Throw a pitch.
Thank God for him.
Under the hat right here.
Had a little extra juice on the ball.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
A little extra spin.
Go ahead. Say again, Frank.
No, he had a little extra spin on the ball that night with that whatever he was using.
Oh, so he's suspended for 10 games because of that. Remember back in the day, man. I used to like the guy who was that? Phil Necro. Remember the Necro brothers? Phil Necro played with the Yankees. I mean, he retired like late. Hey, Joe Quinlan, help me out here. Phil Necro, when did he retire? Or Luker? How old was he? Phil Necro used to throw meatballs, and like in his later years, but he was still a good pitcher. It was crazy. 48 years old. The guy pitched to his 48 years old. Like what Nolan Ryan pitched until he was around that age too, correct? Nolan Ryan was a much better pitcher, obviously. 46. Okay. But I can remember games with Phil Necro getting yanked. I mean, he would have sandpaper in his pocket.
Let's say Bardol, Crisco.
Oh, everything. Everything. It was the best. I mean, you go back on
Vaseline.
YouTube. Yeah, Vaseline. Whatever he could get his hands on. So, but hey, listen, I think we're going to wrap it up. Next week we're gonna prepare for the Scottish Open, and we got the U.S. Open coming up. Let's see. I want to see what Joe says. Joe Necro was the one that got tossed for an Emery board in his pocket. That was correct. Thank you, Joe. So next week we're going to feature the Scottish Open. We'll preview a little bit of the British Open. I think that's going to be an awesome tournament, the British Open, because it's always nasty there, and.
Weather-wise?
Yeah, weather-wise. I mean, it's cold, it's rainy, it's windy, and a lot of distraction. It's not like St. Andrews. St. Andrews, a lot of players score because St. Andrews is flat, and you can get a lot of roll, except for the hotel hole. I think it's 17. That's like probably one of the toughest holes because some players will go over the hotel and the houses, and some will just play it safe and play the dog leg. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap it up. I want to thank you all for watching the show. Don't forget to go check out our website, bleacherbrothers.com.
Cheers, big ears.
Yeah, and don't forget to sign up and all the apps. We didn't talk about it much tonight. Just go to Bleacher Brothers, right-hand side. You're going to see it says Bleacher Bets. Click on that, and it shows you all the apps that you could sign up for. You don't have to throw money into them, but here's the best part. Some of those apps have bet 1,000 and lose. First time bet. You bet 1,000 and you lose, they give you $1,000 back. It's win-win situation, right?
Tommy, I'm going to go 3-0 on my head-to-heads. Let's get him.
Okay, good. Well, I all I hope is that Tom Kim wins. That's what I want to see.
2 for 3. 2 for 3 will be just fine.
Yeah, or him or Cameron Young will be. I'd like to go 2 for. Well, you're talking about head-to-head, but. Any one of my 3 picks, I'm hoping will win.
Well, shit, if I'm betting him to win, I'm betting him the head-to-head for sure. Let's go.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I get it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching the show. We will see you next week. Don't forget, check out Frank with Joe Q this weekend. If they hammer that all out, Frank's got a big contract here coming up, and so they're going to get
Saturday horses.
They're going to get a couple rolls of quarters out for him, so that this way.
Me and Joey are going to pick a lot of winners.
Oh,
I'm looking forward I'm happy if Joe will let me on.
What do you think, Joe? Over there in the chat.
I didn't look at my text message since this afternoon.
Should he check his text messages, Joe?
I'm sure we're good. I'm sure we're
I'm
good.
sure you're good too. Hey, thanks for joining us, Steven. You did a great job tonight. Thanks so much.